All right, so today we're taking a deep dive into something pretty wild.
Yeah.
The whole idea of dreams, reality, and consciousness.
Mm.
It really makes you think, right? Like, you know those dreams where you're talking to someone, feels so real,
Totally.
you're asking questions and everything.
Yeah.
Then you wake up and it's like, wait a minute, was I just talking to myself that whole time?
It's such a trip.
And that's exactly where our source material starts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it dives right into this whole paradox of dreaming.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Well, it asks this really interesting question.
Okay.
If the people in our dreams are just creations of our own minds,
Right.
then aren't we essentially just talking to ourselves?
Oh,
Like having a whole conversation with different parts of ourselves?
that actually makes a lot of sense when you think about it from a psychological perspective.
Oh, how so?
Well, a lot of dream interpretation revolves around the idea that the characters in our dreams represent different aspects of ourselves.
Oh, interesting. Like maybe our fears, desires, different parts of our personality?
So it's like our subconscious mind is putting on a little play for us.
Exactly. And we're both the playwright and the audience.
Mind-blowing, right.
Totally.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, no, it gets even deeper.
Oh, yeah, the source material doesn't stop there.
Okay, where does it go from there?
So it takes this concept of dreams being our mind's creation,
Yeah.
and it goes, hold on a second. What if all our experiences are like that?
What? Hold on.
Like, what if our waking life, this conversation we're having right now, is
Yeah.
all just our mind constructing a reality around us?
Okay, that is seriously trippy.
I know, right?
Like, does anything really exist outside of our own minds?
It's a huge question, and philosophers have been debating it for centuries.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole school of thought called solipsism
Right.
that basically says the only thing we can be sure of is our own existence.
Everything else could just be our imagination.
Exactly.
Good.
Let's not get too lost down that rabbit hole. Good point. It's easy to get carried away with these kinds of ideas.
Yeah, but even if we don't go full-on solipsism,
Right.
there are still some really interesting takeaways here.
Absolutely.
Like, think about optical illusions.
Oh, yeah.
They totally mess with our perception, right?
Yeah, they show how our brains can be tricked into seeing things that aren't really there.
Exactly. Or how about when two people witness the same event, but they come away with completely different interpretations?
Happens all the time.
Right. So it really makes you question
Yeah.
how much of what we perceive as reality is actually just our own minds making sense of things.
You know, it's funny. The source material brings up another really profound question.
Okay, what's that?
It asks, who am I?
Whoa.
And it challenges this idea of having a fixed, unchanging self.
Interesting.
Like maybe who we are is more fluid, constantly evolving.
I mean, that definitely aligns with what we know from psychology and neuroscience.
Right, like our brains are constantly changing.
Absolutely. Our sense of self is shaped by our experiences, our memories, our relationships.
Yeah, even the physical structure of our brains can change over time.
Exactly. So it makes sense that our sense of self would change too.
So if our sense of self is always evolving, does that mean it's impossible to truly know ourselves?
That's a good question.
Like, is the me of today a different person than the me yesterday?
I think that's what makes life so interesting.
Yeah.
It's a constant journey of self-discovery.
We're always learning and growing and changing.
Exactly. And I think that's a beautiful thing.
So after going through all this, what are some of the key things we can take away from this deep dive?
Well, for starters, I think we've seen how the paradox of dreaming
Yeah.
can really highlight the incredible power of our minds.
To create and shape our experiences.
Exactly. And it also makes us question the nature of reality itself.
Right. Is it really as objective as we think it is?
Or is there more to it than meets the eye?
And then, of course, there's the whole idea of the self being fluid and ever-changing.
Right. It's a process, not a fixed point.
It's definitely given me a lot to ponder.
Me too.
Like, if our minds can create entire worlds in our dreams,
Yeah.
what does that say about the potential of human imagination in our waking lives?
Oh, that's a great question.
Could we be shaping our reality in ways we don't even realize?
It's certainly possible.
It's a pretty mind-blowing thought.
That's the beauty of these kinds of deep dives.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily give us all the answers,
Right.
but they open up so many new questions.
And they make us think about the world in completely different ways.
Exactly. So, to our listeners out there,
Yeah.
the next time you find yourself in a dream,
Mhm.
take a moment to really appreciate the incredible power of your own mind.
And when you're awake,
Yeah.
Pay attention to how your perceptions shape your experience of the world.
You might be surprised by what you discover.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
And until next time, keep exploring.
And keep dreaming.
See you later.
Bye!